Welcome to Cognitia. Today, we're going to explore one of the last great frontiers on Earth. Sometimes the world feels boring. Humanity has mapped the continents, climbed the highest mountains, crossed frozen poles, and explored remote islands scattered across the globe. Satellites scan every corner of the land, and drones fly where humans cannot. But there is still one place left to explore. A wet, crushing desert. A world without sunlight. A realm inhabited by creatures so strange they seem alien. The deep sea. Let's dive down. The oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface, with an average depth of nearly 3,700 meters. Yet, despite their vastness, less than 2% of Earth's total biomass lives here. Even more surprising, around 90% of all ocean life exists within just the top 200 meters. Below that, the ocean becomes something else entirely. This is where our journey begins. Sunlight still penetrates the water, allowing photosynthesis to occur. Trillions of microscopic organisms known as phytoplankton float freely in the sunlit zone, individually insignificant. Together they form the foundation of nearly all marine food webs and produce over half of the oxygen we breathe. Phytoplankton are consumed by zooplankton, which are eaten by fish, which in turn feed larger predators such as tuna, sharks, and whales. At these depths, the seafloor is alive. Coral reefs grow slowly over centuries, forming massive structures that rival rainforests in biodiversity. Algae, seagrasses, and sponges provide shelter for countless species. This is the part of the ocean we know best, the part where we swim, fish, pollute, and do science. But below us lies an entirely different world, so we go deeper. As we move away from land, the shallow seafloor ends abruptly. The continental shelf drops away into the continental slope, a steep descent into the deep ocean. Light fades quickly, plants vanish, temperatures drop, and the seafloor becomes barren and scarred. Looking out, there is no ground beneath us, only endless darkening water. We now enter the twilight zone. Sunlight is weak here, too faint for photosynthesis, yet still present enough to cast dim shadows. Pressure increases rapidly. At just 300 meters, the pressure is already 30 times greater than at the surface. The deepest scuba dive ever recorded reached 332 meters, where the pressure feels like 200 cars stacked on your body. Yet even here, we have only completed a tiny fraction of our descent. Life in the twilight zone follows a daily rhythm. During the day, fish and squid hide in the darkness to avoid predators. At night, they rise hundreds of meters toward the surface to feed. In this dim world, light becomes a powerful tool. More than 90% of species here produce their own light through bioluminescence. Some glow to camouflage themselves. Others flash to communicate, confuse predators, or lure prey. At around 700 meters, we encounter siphonophores, colonial organisms made of thousands of individuals working as one. Some stretch more than 50 meters long, glowing blue or red as they deploy curtains of venomous tentacles. Food is scarce at these depths, so most creatures rely on marine snow, a constant drizzle of dead organisms, waste, shells, and dust sinking from the surface. Without it, life in the deep sea would starve. These depths are also home to epic battles. Sperm whales, the deepest diving mammals on Earth, descend here to hunt giant squid. The squid fight back fiercely, gripping their attackers and leaving scars that last a lifetime at 1,000 meters. Deeper than the tallest structures built by humans, we enter the midnight zone. No sunlight reaches this realm. It is a vast black wilderness, one of the least explored environments on Earth. Finding food here is extremely difficult, so life has adapted to conserve energy. The vampire squid floats motionless, extending thin arms that collect drifting food instead of chasing prey. Predators cannot afford to miss. Many have enormous mouths, expandable stomachs, and long, deadly teeth. The viperfish uses needle-like fangs to trap prey larger than itself. The frilled shark, armed with more than 300 backward-curving teeth, ensures that anything caught cannot escape. Below 3,800 meters. As deep as the wreck of the Titanic, we reach the abyssal zone. Life here moves slowly. Every movement costs energy, so animals drift or swim with calm elegance. The Dumbo octopus paddles gently with ear-like fins, while grenadier fish glide with slow, eel-like tail beats at around 4,000 meters. We reach the abyssal plain. A vast muddy seafloor stretching for thousands of kilometers. It is covered in marine snow and dotted with manganese nodules that take millions of years to form. Sea cucumbers, worms, shrimp, and sea urchins quietly feed on the sediment. Even here, life finds oases. Along tectonic rifts, hydrothermal vents erupt, blasting superheated, mineral-rich water into the ocean. Bacteria use chemical energy instead of sunlight, forming the base of ecosystems completely independent of the surface world as we descend past 6,000 meters. We enter the Hadal zone, the deepest and most extreme part of the ocean. These narrow trenches make up only a fraction of the seafloor. Yet they are among the harshest environments on Earth. Only extremophiles survive here. Ghostly snailfish have been recorded at nearly 8,000 meters, making them the deepest living fish ever observed past 10,000 meters. Jagged black rock walls close in. Finally, we reach a gently sloping valley deep within the Mariana Trench. This is the Challenger Deep, 11,000 meters below the surface. The pressure here is more than 1,000 times atmospheric pressure, equivalent to balancing 1,800 elephants on your body. Yet life persists. Giant amphipods drift through the darkness, far larger than their shallow water relatives, while sea cucumbers crawl slowly across the seafloor, and among them floats something unmistakably human plastic, even the deepest. Most remote place on Earth is no longer untouched. Our oxygen is running out, and we begin our ascent. After hours of traveling through darkness, a faint blue glow appears. Sunlight returns, and we break the surface once more. Thank you for joining this journey into the deep. The oceans are vast beyond comprehension, ancient and fragile. We have explored less than 5% of them, and there are still countless wonders waiting in the dark. What we choose to do now will decide whether those wonders remain for generations to come. The deep sea is not just a distant world beneath the waves. It is part of our planet, and it is our responsibility to protect it. Thank you for watching Cognitia. Stay curious and keep exploring deeper.